Welcome to Star Citizen and the XXL XenoThreat Event Guide.
Attention, people of Stanton. A great injustice has been done to you. For decades, that we are the ones in charge. Stanton will be the first step in a revolution to take back the soul of the Empire. You will be witnesses. We are XenoThreat. Out.
We came to fight. We came to take what was meant to be ours.
With this battle announcement, the pirate gang XenoThreat from the neighboring Pyro system, we are called to join the forces of the CDF, the Civilian Defense Force, to beat back this threat to the Stanton system.
Just like we promised, we came to fight.
In this dynamic event, we are in for a truly epic and long battle that will require a lot of teamwork, but will also reward us with good pay and a lot of fun.
We came to fight. I'm coming for you.
Special Agent Dooley with the advocacy. The Navy's making a push against XenoThreat and has requested CDF support. I need combat pilots and anyone capable of transporting cargo to volunteer. Contact me for details. Come out.
And with this message from Special Agent Dooley, the CDF coordinator, we receive via our mobiGlass and the contract manager there, first the task to present ourselves at the INS Jericho military station, which can be found in the vicinity of Microtech, where it is possible to find a home during the event at the station MiG-L1. And it doesn't matter which ship you come with, in a group or alone, because this event is all about teamwork and cooperation. In the next step of the mission, we are given the task of protecting the War Hammer, a Javelin class destroyer of the UEE Navy docked at Jericho Station, and at the same time supplying it with the necessary supplies to restore combat readiness. We received the necessary supplies a few hundred kilometers away at our own jump point, where we have to search outraged Navy supply ships for 3 special materials, secure them and bring them back to the Jericho station, and ultimately the Javelin, using different transport methods. Here it is at first completely indifferent which ship with an available load capacity you use. However, we later find out that for some materials it is advantageous to have a ship that is fast as possible. It is much more important to bring a multi-tool with a tractor beam attachment, because we need it not only to move in space but also to load the crates. We gain access to the racks via different entrances, and in the interior we encounter XenoThreat ground troops, which we must first eliminate. We fight our way into the hold of the Starfarer, where we can open the gate, which can only be opened from the inside by pressing the green button on a generator placed next to the door, which allows us to secure the supplies.
Hit that bottom for the body and soul. Gonna tap that rhythm, feel the bowl. Gonna shake that devil and lose control. Gotta stop.
The supplies to be secured are of different types, each of which can be handled differently.
Shake that devil and lose control. Gotta stop.
We find them mostly in security containers, where they are supplied with energy and therefore do not represent a danger. But let us come to the different properties. Acryloplex, the blue glowing square boxes, are heat and vibration sensitive, so we should be careful that we do not suffer any major damage or bombardment with our transport ship. The green glowing boxes, zetaprolonite, is time sensitive, so once it is removed from the container vessel, a timer of 24 minutes begins before the material is destroyed. And dilothermics, the yellow cylinders, cannot be transported by a quantum jump, so must be flown conventionally several hundred kilometers to the station. Therefore, it makes sense to bring the yellow cylinders, dilothermics, to the Jericho station with a ship that is as fast as possible in order to save time and, above all, to be able to escape from attackers. Here the Crusader Mercury Star Runner is one of the fastest ships and can almost always be found. The green and blue materials, on the other hand, can be transported via quantum jump, which means that any cargo ship or generally ship with a storage facility come into question. To make loading as fast as easy as possible, the multi-tool with the tractor beam attachment is again invaluable, since we can safely bridge larger distances here. And already during loading and unloading, it becomes clear that with cooperation and teamwork, not only more fun is created, but the event can also be carried out much more faster and much more effectively. But it would be too easy if we could pick up and transport our cargo undisturbed. After all, the XenoThreat are very active in the wreckage area, so we need a defense against attacks to protect our hardworking recovery teams. Also, we have the opportunity to actively defend newly arriving supply ships that are still intact, so that they can ultimately continue on their way to the Jericho station, and so supplies can also be delivered to the Javelin. And of course, there are currently still possibilities to speed up the cargo transport significantly and make it more effective, but this is aimed at experienced groups and teams for the time being. For this we use a kind of Trojan horse, a ship within a ship tactic, which allows us to load the quantum-sensitive material, the yellow cylinders, dilithermics, into a small ship or vehicle and to transport the small ship or vehicle with the large ship by quantum jumping. This way there is no damage to the material and we can deliver it as usual, but save ourselves a few minutes per load. Another advantage is that our transport team can be a little smaller, after we can only use one ship with a sufficient crew for all materials for transport. Our collected materials we can sell directly at the terminals, which are distributed over the entire Jericho station, and this supply the Javelin. However, it is important here that the ship owner, the one whose ship is used for the cargo, must sell these materials at the consoles themselves. All players can load in. But also here it is often useful to bring an escort, after XenoThreat attacks can happen anywhere. And after we have to deliver 100 zeta-prolonide, 50 acryliplex as well as 80 dilithermics, it is necessary to secure several wrecks and recover the materials. However, it doesn't matter which group or which players fulfill the goals, after these goals apply to the entire server. And should the players of this server have completely delivered the materials, the next phase of this dynamic event begins, whereby we complete the original mission with it and subsequently receive another mission. However, it is not so easy to complete the first phase. The Javelin docked at the station is regularly attacked by the XenoThreat, which cannot defend itself, and therefore depends on our support. Among other things, the XenoThreats attack with an Idris, which has an enormously powerful railgun capable of inflicting considerable damage on the Javelin. So we are fighting on two fronts, the protection of the supplies and our recovery teams, as well as the defense of the Javelin at the Jericho station, which are separated by about 600 kilometers. So we have to coordinate our forces and repel the attacks of the XenoThreat as fast as possible, whereby it is advisable to take out the numerous escort ships of the Idris first, in order to take care of this capital ship bundled afterwards. Because the more damage the Javelin takes, the weaker it is in the following phase, a battle against the XenoThreat fleet, in which the UEE destroyer actively intervenes in the battle. And as a tip for defense against the attacking Idris, it is advisable to keep an eye on the railgun, which has a longer loading phase, and we are also warned via radio about imminent firing. Because with this we have the possibility to put ourselves between the Javelin and Idris, which often leads to the fact that the aiming process of the railgun is aborted, or we are hit instead of the Javelin. Thus, it is possible to effectively protect the Javelin and keep it from being hit. And with combined firepower, or in the best case some bombers in the fleet, we can effectively and quickly repel the attack waves. And for all bomber pilots another tip. Here we fire our torpedoes unguided at close range at this capital ship, which eliminates countermeasures and allows safe hits. With a few bomber pilots tuned in, the Idris thus has no time to fire even a single shot. But we have spoken, the protection of the Javelin is not the only front of which we must actively fight. Because our supplies are also still under active and parallel attack, so at least some combat-capable ships should remain in the area of the recovery forces and be able to actively protect them. Currently very effective are ships with multi-crew capabilities with manable turrets, which due to the current combat and ship mechanics often have a considerable fire potential. We recommend here the Hurricane, Constellation and with sufficient team members the Hammerhead. But we come to the second and decidedly combat-heavy phase of this dynamic XenoThreat event. Because as soon as the supplies are listed, we receive the second mission to the event, whereby the Javelin then actively intervenes in the fight against the threat. And here we then have only one mission objective: protect the Javelin and take out the enemies.
Special Agent Dooley here. XenoThreat's getting beaten up, so we could really use someone like you to help secure the win. I've sent you the details.
At this point, the UEES War Hammer, with its undocking from the INS Jericho station, heralds the start of the second part, which again takes place in the near nebula. And in this epic battle we face several Idris frigates and countless escort ships. And here's another important note: be careful not to hit the Javelin and allied ships multiple times, especially in battles near them, after you become criminal so quickly, which automatically excludes you from the mission and makes you a target. Otherwise, at this point, it's just a matter of enjoying the battle and sending XenoThreat back to where we hope to follow you soon, to Pyro. And the possibility of firing torpedoes unguided, of course, also works at this stage. And once all XenoThreat have been eliminated, this mission is also successfully completed, and the Stanton system is safe again. Until the next Xenos attack, of course. And so we say goodbye to the Javelin, the War Hammer, hopefully to see you again soon. But of course we also receive a reward not to be underestimated. On the one hand, so far, let's say still very rudimentary CDF in-game armor, which consists of 3 parts which we can unlock automatically over the different levels via the reputation system, as well as, depending on our performance, a very lucrative payment. By the way, until now reaching a reputation level has already been enough for the unlocking of the respective bonus, so it can be assumed that with the achievement of the 3rd level also the last part of the armor will be unlocked. And perhaps the current version of this armor, the one or the other, reminds of already existing equipment, but I think an optical adaptation is within the realm of possibility here. No less interesting is the fact that you can generate up to 450,000 alpha UEC in payment during the event, depending on the point at which you enter the event and the duration of that event. Here's a tip: be sure to take the permanently available mission, a call to arms, after which you can earn alpha UEC for each completed opponent. I hope you liked the video, and leave me a like, and maybe even a subscribe here. The XenoThreat event is so far the maximum of great battles and action we could play in Star Citizen. Also, the rework of this first version, which was playable with version 3.12, is clearly noticeable and a real step forward. In general, dynamic events are a significant addition and I'm already looking forward to playing more of them. But as always, I'm interested in your opinions on the subject. What do you think about the XenoThreat event? Feel free to write me in the comments in the Discord or in the almost daily Twitch livestreams. And as always, the most important at the end, a big thank you to all Patreons, channel members and Twitch subscribers. Without you, this would not be possible in this form. You are a huge motivation. Thank you for your support, guys. Thank you. You rock! And of course, there will be extensive giveaways again this month. How you can participate and what to expect, check out the Discord and the announcement trailers. I say goodbye until next time. See you soon. And as always, see you in the verse.